اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على إبراهيم وعلى آل محمد. Can I begin now? Inshallah. Yeah, inshallah, that's the last time we stopped with the topic of qiyas as well, and we are going to continue just because some brothers made some points, and when I asked them to go and ask, they got some answers, some questions. They went and asked some imams in mosques or some other teachers of fiqh, and they gave them some questions to ask. So inshallah I will try to answer them if I remember. If I don't remember, the brothers who are here and have these questions can remind me. We have dars now. When we finish, inshallah, we can discuss. Yes. So before that, actually, there was the issue of prayer these days. A brother, some brothers have asked about have asked about the prayer, the way these days, the way we are praying. We are supposed to, some mosques they pray Maghrib and Isha together. Some mosques they delay the prayer until it's time, and there is different opinions about the prayer time. Now al-Muntada is saying that Isha prayer starts at midnight. The other mosques say the prayer starts there is no Isha time. Whether we take the opinion of al-Muntada or the other mosques who say there is no timing at all, it will lead us to one thing, that we can pray Isha any time after Maghrib and between 11:20, 11:15, depends on the changing of the time. The Prophet said the time of Isha is when the dusk is gone. When the dusk is gone, the dusk is the red light in the sky after Maghrib, and until midnight. This is the hadith of the Prophet. Isha must stop at midnight. Midnight in Sharia is not 12 a.m. Midnight in Sharia is the half of the night, middle of the night. So how do we calculate middle of the night? You have the timing is now the prayer is Maghrib is 9:20 and Fajr is 1:20. So between Maghrib and Fajr there is 4 hours. Between Maghrib and Fajr there is 4 hours. 10:20, 11:20, 12:20 and 1:20 minutes. That's 4 hours. Divided by 2? 2 hours. That is the half middle of the night. So 9:20, 10:20, 11:20. So midnight is 11:20. Now you can't pray Isha after midnight. According to the hadith of the Prophet, hadith of Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As, you can't pray Isha. He said Isha from the dusk going or until midnight. So you have to pray before 11:20. According to the majority of the mosque, they say there is no dusk, so there is no beginning time. According to al-Muntada is 12 something, so the beginning of the time is after the end of it. So it becomes invalid as well. So we have to stop praying at 11:20. We have to pray before 11:20, the Isha prayer. And now, what about the beginning of the time? We can't just make it up from our head. We can't, if someone says you have to pray 5 minutes before the end of the time, or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it will be opinions, that we don't do opinions in the religion. However, we can say that definitely you can't pray before Maghrib, because Isha is after Maghrib. So the timing is, anyone can pray between Maghrib and 11:20 minutes. This is the time of Isha these days, until it goes back to be before the end of the time. Yeah, this is one thing that the brothers were asking. The other thing is, the brothers, when I talk here all the time, had an objection. They said, all the time I say Rasulullah, Rasulullah, the Prophet of Allah. They said, but never you say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And I said this before. I said, if you say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. So pray over the Prophet. But he never said where in Quran or how. So we have to ask to find out how to pray and when. Some people use this hadith. They say the Prophet has said the most stingy person is the one to whom I am mentioned to, and he never offer prayer on me. This hadith is the narration of someone called Abdullah ibn Ali ibn al-Hussein. This man is not well known amongst the muhaddithin. That's why they don't consider him to be someone to take knowledge from. Ibn Hibban consider him to be thiqa, but Ibn Hibban is not reliable when it comes to this subject about naming the tabi'een. And therefore this hadith is considered to some to be hasan, some to be da'if. But any way you take it, even if you take this hadith to be sahih, the Prophet said, the one to whom I am being mentioned, not to the person that mentions my name. So the people to whom he is mentioned to, not the person who is mentioning him, who is mentioning his name. And then when you take this hadith this way as well, what you have to do here is you have to say the prayer in correct way. You shouldn't do a bid'ah. Bid'ah is anything. If I ask someone, why don't you say Tahiyyatu lillahi salawatu tayyibat assalamu alayka ayyuha ya sayyidi ya Rasulullah wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He will say, this is bid'ah. I will say, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying ya sayyidi ya Rasulullah, and good thing. I am adding something good. But they will insist that no, you should say it the way the Prophet used to say it. Yes? And if I say to someone, say Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa khayrina Muhammadin wa ala alihi, they will say no, this is wrong. If I say to someone, say after adhan, Allahumma rabba hadhihi ad-da'wati at-tammati was-salati al-qa'ima ati محمدا سيدنا ورسولنا محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. We say this is wrong. Even though I have not said anything, just I'm praising. But we say no, you have to keep the words that the Prophet has said. And I agree with that. So we have to say the salat as well the way the Prophet used to say it. The Prophet, there is hadith in Bukhari, not one hadith, many hadith. In Bukhari and Muslim, hadith of Abu Humayd al-Sa'idi, Ka'b ibn Ajura. He said, we told the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, قد علمنا كيف السلام عليك. We know how to do salam to you. When we meet you in the street, we say Assalamu alaikum. فكيف الصلاة? How is the prayer? He said, قولوا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. So, either you do the prayer in the right way or don't do it. If you don't do it the way the Prophet has said it, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. No, this is not sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It's not anywhere. The Sahaba definitely, you won't find that the Sahabi was calling the Prophet Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You won't find at the time the Sahaba were talking about the Prophet that they were referring to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even in the books, when you come to Bukhari now and Musnad Ahmad, and if you go to the old books, they didn't used to write sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They used to write the Prophet. And even Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, very from the first generations after Bukhari, and what he said, I looked at the book of Ahmad, the original book of Ahmad, there is no sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nawawi, what he says, he says in his book Sharh Muslim, he say everyone who is writing these books like Bukhari and Muslim, wherever he comes across this name of the Prophet, even if the original book there is no sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he should write sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is where people like this, who had this opinion, who made this come in the books. In the original books there was no sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now some people do a mistake here as well when it comes to sometimes it's an obligation to do the salat on the Prophet. It's an obligation, like after the adhan. The Prophet hadith, according to the hadith which is in Muslim, the Prophet said, إذا سمعتم النداء, when you hear the adhan, فقولوا مثل ما يقول, say the way he is saying. Then offer a prayer on me. ثم صلوا عليه. Do prayer over me. فإنه من صلى علي صلاة صلى الله عليه بها عشرا. If you offer the prayer to me, Allah will pray over you 10 times. Now, after the adhan, you have to pray over the Prophet. How? You don't say after the adhan sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It will be wrong. You didn't do it proper way, because the Prophet was asked and he taught us the way to say it. So you have to say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Other than this, anytime you want to do the prayer for the Prophet, it's fine. It's good. It's sunnah. It's not an obligation. If you don't want, you don't want. It's up to you. Sunnah is the thing that if you want, you can do it. If you don't want, you don't have to do it. And it is difficult for someone who is reading Quran or Hadith to every time mentioning the name of the Prophet to stop and say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. You rather do this when you are sitting doing dhikr on Friday or so. This is why when I am reading, I don't say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I will just mention the Prophet. We say the Prophet has said, the Prophet has done. So after now, then I will inshallah go to the. I think we have finished about the lessons of Qiyas, but there is always brothers who come with questions, and so we have to give an answer. Inshallah, I will try to give an answer. Now, one of the questions is, someone said, the Qiyas, no one has said there is no Qiyas.
Excuse me, please.
Yes.
You know, you were just talking about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah.
What are you saying it's wrong to give to show respect to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Did anyone understand that I said it's wrong to respect the Prophet?
Okay.
No one here understood this.
You're basically saying it's bid'ah to say sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
I said it is. I said if you want to say the Prophet, to offer the Prophet a prayer, say it in the right way, the way he said. We shouldn't change the Prophet words. The Prophet said when he was asked how we should offer the prayer, he said, say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. If you can change this, you can change the tashahhud, you can change the dua after adhan. After adhan there is a dua. If you add a word to it, some people will say, oh, it's wrong. If you go to tashahhud and say, add a word to it, if you say Assalamu alayka ya Sayyidina ya Rasulullah, the people will say wrong. The tashahhud is wrong. You shouldn't say it this way. It's the same thing. We agree with that rule, that you shouldn't change. You shouldn't change the dhikr that the Prophet has taught us, because it's wahy. You can't change even a word. You see, the Prophet, There is hadith in Bukhari where the Prophet, hadith of al-Bara ibn Azib, the Prophet said to al-Bara, إذا أويت إذا مضجعك, when you go to your bed, do your wudu and then sleep on your right side and then say اللهم أسلمت نفسي إليك ووجهت وجهي إليك وفوضت أمري إليك وألجأت ظهري إليك رغبة ورهبة إليك لا ملجأ ولا منجى منك إلا إليك آمنت بكتابك الذي أنزلت ونبيك الذي أرسلت. Now the Prophet taught al-Bara ibn Azib this to say, and then he wanted him to say it back to see if he memorized it or not. When al-Bara ibn Azib was reading it back to the Prophet, instead of, the Prophet told him آمنت بكتابك الذي أنزلت ونبيك الذي أرسلت. نبيك الذي أرسلت. That is what the Prophet said. While al-Bara ibn Azib was repeating it, said rather than نبيك, he said ورسولك الذي أرسلت. The Prophet said ونبيك الذي أرسلت. al-Bara said ورسولك الذي أرسلت. Instead of Nabi, he said Rasul. Same thing. Yeah, there is a difference between Nabi and Rasul, but the Prophet is Nabi and he is Rasul. So normally it's fine. There is no big difference. There is no big issue. No, there is a big issue. The Prophet said no. نبيك الذي أرسلت, not رسولك الذي أرسلت. So you have to keep the words of the Prophet. This is what I am trying to say. If you want to say something, say it the right way.
So basically to say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is bid'ah.
To say sallallahu alayhi, to say sallallahu alayhi is dua. To say sallallahu alayhi is dua. Mithl is similar to yarhamuhullah. If someone says Rasulullah rahimahullah, I don't consider it to be bid'ah, or Rasulullah radiyallahu anhu. You understand? Or Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi. This is dua. But this dua as well, you can do it to anybody really. You can say Fatima sallallahu alayha, or radiyallahu anha, or rahimahallah, or you can say, this is not disrespect. You see this hadith, the Prophet said, when you mention the Prophet and you call him by name, if you say Muhammad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, لا تجعلوا دعاء الرسول بينكم كدعاء بعضكم بعضا. Don't make the call of the Prophet amongst you similar to you calling each other. So you don't call him Muhammad. You call him Abu al-Qasim. You call him the Prophet of Allah. You call him the Messenger of Allah. This is the respect, the way to respect him, the way Allah ordered us. But to say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, especially this wa sallam, it's not known at the time of the Sahaba. It wasn't known. But to say salat to anyone, the Prophet, a man came to the Prophet and said, gave him zakat. Abdullah ibn Abi Awfa said, I went to the Prophet and gave him the zakat of my father, their zakat of money. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا, take from their wealth sadaqah, charity, to purify them with it. وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ, and pray over them. Now the Prophet, when he took the zakat, he obeyed what Allah has told him. And he said, اللهم صل على آل أبي أوفى. Because some people say it's bid'ah to say اللهم صل على فلان. It's not. You can say اللهم صل على فلان. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته. So Allah, the way He prays over the Prophet, it's not the same way. The Prophet has higher place, status. But Allah as well prays over the believers. So you can ask Allah to pray over the believers. It's not a bid'ah to say sallallahu ala Malik, sallallahu ala Shafi'i. It's a dua. The way you say rahimallah Malik or radiyallahu an Malik. It's fine. It's not a bid'ah here. It's just a dua. And when you mention the Prophet, and definitely the Prophet, we are not going to respect the Prophet, and we can't respect the Prophet the way he used to respect other prophets. He used to respect other prophets, and he even used to say that don't say that لا تفضلوني على الأنبياء. Don't choose me over the prophets. He used to say that. Yeah, it's not that we say the Prophet is the best human being. But we obey his order, and we don't say the Prophet is better than Musa. We say that he is better than human being, and Musa is a human being. We just have to follow his orders. If you say he is better than Musa, then you are doing something that he has forbidden. But you say that he is the best human being, and that will give you will understand from it what you understand. Now, the Prophet who used to respect the prophets, the Prophet Rasulullah, who used to respect the other prophets, what he said? He said, نحن أحق بالشك من إبراهيم. We are more deserving to be suspicious about Allah, about Iman, than Ibrahim. So, if Ibrahim had suspicion when he said to Allah, show me the way you bring dead to life. If Ibrahim was suspicious there, he was not suspicious. But if he was, then we are more likely to be suspicious than him. This is what the Prophet said about Ibrahim. What did he say? نحن أحق بالشك من إبراهيم. He didn't say sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he was not disrespecting him. ولو لبثت في السجن ما لبث يوسف لأجبت الداعي. And if I stayed in prison as long as Yusuf stayed, I would have answered the caller, the person who came to call him. وَرَحِمَ اللَّهُ لُوط. And Allah may bless Lot. كَانَ يَأْوِي إِلَىٰ رُكْنٍ شَدِيدٍ. You see, Lot, Ibrahim, Yusuf, and he was not disrespecting. He was respecting them. He didn't. It's not considered to be disrespect when you say Rasulullah. Why we don't say Muhammad the way he said Ibrahim? Because Allah forbade us that. So this is the religion. It's not opinions. So you follow what Allah and the Prophet has said. And if you want to bring something, anything new, you have to bring it with dalil. We have to say that Allah has said, the Prophet has said, and we will accept it. Just opinions in religion is it doesn't matter from where it comes. If it comes from someone famous, if it comes from the majority, if it comes from everybody, we should just follow what Quran and Sunnah says. And if I need to talk about more, or there is anything that I will inshallah continue with it. Or we go back to the qiyas. Yeah. So the brother was one of the questions is the first person who has said there is no qiyas. This is an objection. The first person ever who says there is no qiyas in religion, of whom we know, is Dawood al-Zahiri. Why didn't the Sahaba and the Tabi'in say there is no qiyas? The answer to that is the first person we know of to say that Quran is not created was Ahmad ibn Hanbal. The first person that we know of who said istihsan is wrong, istihsan is talking about religion just based on desire, on no proof at all, was Shafi'i. Nobody Sahabi said there is no istihsan in religion. No Tabi'i said there is no istihsan in religion. And many things similar. I just gave you an example here. The first thing we know that he said people who go to the graveyards and call the dead are mushrik, probably is Ibn Taymiyyah and his students. Why the Sahaba didn't say anything about istihsan? Why didn't Sahaba say anything about Quran not being created? Why didn't Sahaba say anything about Abu Bakr not being a kafir? Because we don't know that any Sahabi said Abu Bakr is not kafir. We don't know this. We never heard anyone from the Sahaba saying the Prophet is not the son of Allah, is not made out of light. Neither the Tabi'in. Why didn't say this? Because that bid'ah was not in there. Because nobody at the time was doing bid'ah, doing istihsan in religion. Nobody was doing qiyas in religion. Nobody was, as a rule, taking a rule doing qiyas in religion. Nobody was making ra'i as a rule to take religion from. Nobody was saying Quran is created. So there was no need to answer. Nobody was saying that Abu Bakr is a kafir, so no need to say no, he is not. Nobody was saying that the Prophet was a light, so there was no need to say no, the Prophet He is a human being that walks, and so and actually when you go to find out more, you will find that no Sahaba has said that Qiyas is in religion.
So excuse me. So what about the pagan Arabs? Didn't they say it was created, the Quran?
I'm not talking about the creation of Quran. I'm just giving example. So if we go to there is athar sahih from Umar ibn Khattab, that he used to talk about the enemies of the Sunnah, who can't memorize the Quran and Sunnah, and then they use their opinions. If we go to the Tabi'in, then Ibn Sirin said that the first person to do Qiyas was the first thing, creation to do Qiyas, is Iblis. This is Ibn Sirin, Tabi', before Dawood. He said Iblis is the first to do Qiyas. Qiyas is this. How he did Qiyas? He said, I am better than Adam. So he looked at himself, compared it to, this is Qiyas, is comparison. If this is haram, this is more likely to be haram.
It's authentic statement of Ibn Sirin.
Yes. So Ibn Sirin said, Iblis is the first who did Qiyas. The Sha'bi said, the religion is not made by Qiyas. Sha'bi said, if these people, he was talking about people of Kufa who use opinion a lot in the religion and Qiyas, he said they made the mosque for me a worse place than the toilet, because of the Qiyas they talk about every time in the mosque. This is what Sha'bi said. And if, yes, Sha'bi is Amir ibn Shurahil, one of the Imams of the Tabi'in from the Kufa.
Was he Abu Hanifa?
He was considered to be Abu Hanifa teacher. He was was born in Kufa. He remembers something from Ali ibn Abi Talib. He saw Ali ibn Abi Talib. So he's not from the biggest of the Tabi'in, but you can say from the big Tabi'in. Yeah, and he is trustworthy unanimously. And his hadith, he so many hadith, and his hadith is in any book of fiqh, of hadith. His name, you will find it in any book of fiqh or hadith. That's so famous. Abu Hanifa himself, from Kufa, he said the qiyas, the hadith da'if. Hadith da'if is better than qiyas. Now qiyas, hadith da'if, is not considered from religion. If qiyas was religion, then something that is not from religion shouldn't be better than religion. Abu Hanifa said qiyas, hadith da'if, is better than religion. What did Shafi'i say? Shafi'i says about qiyas, when he comes to qiyas, he says qiyas is like tayammum for someone who doesn't have water. Like time of necessity, sometimes some people might need to do qiyas, not to make up religion, to solve a problem, an issue, temporary issue, like is not cure, is not a final decision. I'll give you an example now. Now, a judge who is somewhere where there is not a lot of knowledge, he is a Muslim, and he doesn't know the issue about solving a problem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran that 3 girls or more, if someone dies and he has 3 girls, they must take 2/3 of the property. If it's 1, she will take half of the property. Now 2, according to many, they didn't see that 2 are mentioned in this ayah. So they said more than 3 or more, they will take 2/3. 1 will take half. What about 2? We don't know it. They said we don't know it. It is in Quran, but they couldn't see it. Some people couldn't see it. And then a judge, now someone comes to a judge. 2 girls come to the judge where their mother and the wife of their brother, the wife of their father, to take the inheritance, how much are they going to take from the inheritance? He will say, okay, I don't know what to give you. So is it going to leave this problem unsolved? He has to do something about it. He can talk to them, listen, I don't know much about this subject. I know that Allah has given the girl half and the two girls 2 halves. Probably your share will be in between the 2/3 and half. Probably, I am not sure about this, but I have to solve this problem anyway. I hope that you forgive me if I have done any mistake. I will solve it just based on my opinion or my qiyas. But that will not be a final decision. Just I am trying to solve this problem. This is not religion. It shouldn't be like my decision will be like a temporary solution. So that is what Shafi'i was saying. That is like tayammum for someone who doesn't have water. When you don't have water, other people do have water. Because the water here is the hadith. And he is saying the tayammum is the qiyas. But if you don't have the hadith, other people know it. If you looked at the hadith and you don't understand it, other people may understand it. So this is the saying of Shafi'i. What Ahmad bin Hanbal said about qiyas? Ahmad bin Hanbal said, the person who speaks, who read, the person who study fiqh should keep away from qiyas. This is the saying of Ahmad. All these what I've mentioned now are with authentic chain of narrators. Nobody has ever said that these statements are wrong, or so it wasn't Dawood al-Zahiri really who mentioned first, who said denied qiyas at the beginning. And then the other question was the other brother, what he said. He said Ali ibn Abi Talib with Umar ibn Khattab, with Uthman ibn Affan and Zubair ibn al-Awwam, all together, this is the Sahaba, the well-known Sahaba, have done qiyas. How? That Umar ibn Khattab one day someone came up with someone drunk. They brought a drunk to him. He wanted to punish him and he didn't know how to punish him. And then he asked the Sahaba. Then according to this hadith, which is probably made up, Ali ibn Abi Talib gave his opinion. He said, the one who drinks will hallucinate. Hallucinate, he will talk. He will say talk about people honor. He will talk about women, talk about people honor. And then he said, whoever talks about woman honor, whoever talks about people honor, then the Quran say he should be whipped, slashed 80. Then Ali ibn Abi Talib, according to this hadith, came to the conclusion that whoever drink alcohol should be slashed 80 times. And this is qiyas. Nobody can argue about this. This is qiyas. What we argue about, that this hadith is not sahih. Because the hadith which is in Muslim, first we talk about the isnad. First, the hadith which is in Muslim, according to the hadith of Ali, from Ali ibn Abi Talib, this hadith is in Muslim, that he slashed someone 80, and then he said, if I slash someone, I give to someone the had of Allah, where Allah has ordered to slash someone. If I slash someone anyway and he dies, I won't care, except in alcohol. Because the Prophet never made his decision about slashing someone 80. He said, if I slash someone 80 for alcohol and he dies, I will have to pay blood money. Because the Prophet never made this he fixed this. So he does. People who say qiyas normally say, when you make qiyas, it's religion. It's Allah permission. You are doing religion. It becomes religion. So him here, if he has done qiyas, if that hadith that was sahih, then he doesn't consider it to be religion. He doesn't think that he has the permission of Allah to slash someone 80. And that's why he said, if I slash someone with the permission of Allah, any amount of slashes, and then he dies, I don't care. It's Allah who killed him. But when it comes to alcohol, if he dies, I'm going to pay blood money. Because it's not the Prophet who did it. Because the people who say qiyas, they say it's similar. Qiyas and Quran and Sunnah is all similar. It's hukum Allah. If it's not hukum Allah, you are not. Why are you saying it?
You say it's the same way, Sheikh.
You say, yeah, if they say it's hukum Allah, then it's fine. You don't have to worry. You are doing what Allah ordered you. But here Ali ibn Abi Talib clearly didn't think to slash someone 80 is religion. It's ijtihad, and he was a leader. He can punish someone within the limits. Allah has given a leader a limit where he can use. And and after even this, if Ali ibn Abi Talib has said it, then no,
the hadith is daif.
Definitely daif jiddan. And if Ali ibn Abi Talib has said it, then Ali ibn Abi Talib, we don't know anyone from the Muslims who say everything Ali ibn Abi Talib has said should be taken just like that, except the Shia, who consider him to be ma'asum. But any madhab you take, whether the Sahaba themselves, they contradict Ali ibn Abi Talib a lot. Whether the Ahnaf, whether the Shafi'is, whether the Malikis, whether the Zahiris, whether the Hanbalis, they all, at one point, they have to contradict Ali ibn Abi Talib, because Ali ibn Abi Talib was not the Prophet. Ali ibn Abi Talib is trustworthy. We take his narrations from the Prophet. We look at his understanding. He is the man who speaks Arabic, who understands what the Prophet says most of the time, many times. But as long as he doesn't say something that contradicts what the Prophet has said, what Allah has said, then if he says something that contradicts the Quran and Sunnah, then we still have the respect that we have for him and all Sahaba. We don't have to take what he says when it contradicts the Quran and Sunnah. Now, if we look at this hadith and the way Ali ibn Abi Talib looked at it, and we try to do qiyas, this is the qiyas, where the qiyas will lead us. If someone drinks alcohol, some people when they drink alcohol, they hallucinate, and then they speak against women. So they should be slashed the same way we slash someone who speaks against women, or woman honor, or against honor of the Muslims. If some people when they drink alcohol, they don't hallucinate, they kill. Some people when they drink alcohol, they commit murder. So we have to start killing people, because they might kill people. They might kill when they drink. This is another qiyas. You see, we take this hadith. Some people when they drink, they hallucinate, but not everybody hallucinate. Some people when they drink, they kill. So we come with this opinion that everybody who drinks, we must kill him. And some people when they drink, actually they become very good people. They go to mosque. Some people when they drink, they go to the mosque and they start praying. I was in the mosque before yesterday, and someone drunk came and started praying with the brother. And then when we asked him, why did you come? He said, I am drunk. And then so he remembered, he never remembered about religion. So do you think that because people when they drink, sometimes they become good people and they start doing good things, that we should probably, everyone who drinks, give him a reward? So this is if you do qiyas here, do it here, it's the same. But this is not the way we take religion. We take religion from Quran and Sunnah. We don't look at the reasons and give reasons in religion. You see these people who do really take qiyas. One of the people who do a lot of qiyas is Nawawi. And he likes qiyas. And he doesn't like people who don't do qiyas. But sometime in his book, when he come across people who do qiyas, he criticizes them. Where they do qiyas, where he doesn't want to do qiyas himself. Like, for example, the Malikis. Now the Prophet said, if someone goes to the Qibla, to the toilet, he shouldn't face the Qibla or keep it at his back. So he shouldn't face Qibla or face the other side of the Qibla. This is what the Prophet has said. The Malikis said, if someone has a relation with his wife, he shouldn't face the Qibla. Qiyas on going to the toilet. What is the answer of Nawawi, for example, when he brings this opinion? He say, and this is invalid. We don't take haram and halal except from Quran and Sunnah. And if you turn just 2 pages before or 2 pages after, he will say, and here we have done qiyas, and Dawood he have done no qiyas, but we don't take his opinion because he doesn't take qiyas anyway. So the person who doesn't take qiyas, we shouldn't take his opinion. If qiyas was right, if qiyas in religion was right, then it will be haram to leave it. If Allah ordered us to do qiyas, then it will be haram not to do qiyas. It's not a question of, I do qiyas when I want, like Allah give us the choice. Do qiyas when you like and don't do it when you don't like. They say, no, it's qiyas, it's religion. We have to do it. So if it was such right, then you shouldn't leave it at all. The thing is, you will never find these people agreeing on qiyas. Most of the qiyas that they do, they don't agree about it. The people who do qiyas, they don't agree most of the time about it. Give you examples. Give you example where they missed some qiyas. You see when the Malikis said you shouldn't face the Qibla at the time of relation with a wife. This is a right qiyas. This is a correct qiyas. If there is qiyas, you shouldn't face the Qibla. You see when people put their feet towards Qibla and some people say you shouldn't do that. Respect. Yeah, if you can't spit in front of you to the Qibla, according to some hadith that may be made sahih, then you shouldn't face the Qibla with your feet. So they are doing, these people, these Ammi people we call, they are right. If you do qiyas, you have to do that. If you put someone, if you are sitting in front of the Prophet, will you put your feet in his face? It will be disrespect. So do qiyas here and don't put your feet towards the Qibla as well. You see when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the Prophet, a man in Ramadan had a relation with his wife. He came to the Prophet and the Prophet ordered him to do one of these 3 things. First he asked him can you free a slave? He said no. Can you fast 2 months? No. Then he said, can you feed 60 people? This is a man who had a relation with a woman that was forbidden for him temporarily. So we do qiyas here. If someone has a relation with his wife when she is in menses, he must do this, because his wife is forbidden for him temporarily. This is one of the mistakes. That is one of the qiyas that was missed by everybody. Qiyas that was missed. I give you a qiyas that has been missed as well, which is very clear. It means if a qiyas was right, this qiyas should be very right. You really can't miss it. The Prophet said, The Prophet said about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, if the man or woman whose inheritance is in question, if the man or woman whose inheritance is in question has left neither ascendants nor descendants, if someone dies and he leaves no ascendant or descendants, but has left a brother or a sister, each one of the two gets a sixth. But if more than two, they share the third. If someone dies and leaves brothers and sisters, they must share the third. And then other ayah in Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said at the end of Surah An-Nisa, يَسْتَفْتُونَكَ قُلِ اللَّهُ يُفْتِيكُمْ فِي الْكَلَالَةِ إِنِ امْرُؤٌ هَلَكَ لَيْسَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِنْ كَانُوا إِخْوَةً رِجَالًا وَنِسَاءً. If someone dies and leaves brothers and sisters, the first ayah speaks about the brothers and sisters who are half brother and sister, from the side of the mother only. This ayah here speaks about the brother and sister, either the full brother and sister or the brother and sister from the father side. So this ayah says, if there are two sisters, they shall have 2/3 of the inheritance. If there are brothers and sisters, the male having twice the share of the female. Here when he speaks about the brothers who are full brothers and sisters. Now, I give you an example now. Someone dies and leaves property. He leaves 60 pounds. And he leaves 2 girls, 2 sisters, full sisters, and 1 full brother. According to this ayah, how do we divide this between them? No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the share of the female, the male having twice the share of the female. You have to divide it by 2, and then the male will take 1 share and yes. But when he spoke about the sisters, and brothers half, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they are partners in the third. فَهُمْ شُرَكَاءُ فِي الثُّلُثِ. They are partners in the third. So how are you going to divide it there? Okay, a brother and 2 sisters. How are you going to divide it?
3.
Into 3. You don't do qiyas?
It's not my job.
The thing here, the majority has missed this qiyas. The majority here, not the majority actually, all the madahib said no, we don't do qiyas here. They gave the girl similar share, and this is one of the qiyas that, if there was qiyas sahih in religion, that will be this. This is admissible. It was missed. And if you try to...
They are not real brothers, that's why they don't qiyas.
No, but if you don't do qiyas on brother, what are you going to do qiyas on? A donkey on a camel? A donkey on a horse? If brother on brother, you don't do qiyas. Where do you do qiyas? He is called the brother, he is called the brother. So if qiyas was right, it shouldn't have been missed this way. As I said before, qiyas is 2 things similar. They say 2 things similar, we have to 2 things which are similar, we have to give them the same hukm, the same commandment, the same ruling. What is more similar than the things that the Prophet said they are similar? Nothing. Nobody can say something is similar. Even 2 twins are not more similar than when the Prophet said this is like this. That is definitely similar because the Prophet said it from wahy. Prophet said لَعْنُ الْمُؤْمِنِ كَقَتْلِهِ. The la'an, the cursing of a Muslim is like killing him. Some people with their mind try to make things similar and give them the same ruling. Here the Prophet said it. The Prophet said, cursing a Muslim is like killing him. Do we kill a Muslim if he curses another Muslim? We have to give it the same ruling. Here is not someone, no one brought it with his mind. It's the Prophet who said it.
But you see, today in the age we live in, some things we don't have direct dalil.
This is statement, general, broad statement.
So
I need examples.
Let's say toilet paper. I don't know.
Yeah, toilet paper for what?
Some Prophet they never had toilet paper. Yeah?
Yes.
They used stones or something. Yeah?
Yes.
So this is just an example.
Yes.
So is toilet
so
paper.
when you go to when you have if you do qiyas here toilet paper on the stones, why don't you say if I have to something on my clothes, I just wipe it with some orange juice? It will get clean.
But now you've got DAS, you know. They used to those times they didn't have like certain things like washing up liquid and these things.
If you wash with DAS, you are doing something wrong. You have to wash with water. After DAS, you have to wash with water anyway, no?
Well, it's with water.
As long as you wash with water, you are doing what you have been told. If you do DAS before or after, that is your business. But
so how about toilet paper?
What about toilet paper? Do you think I don't consider toilet paper to be jaiz? It's not right to use toilet paper. If you
obviously we use like water and these things, but I'm saying that.
But if it was stones, you use after toilet paper, you use water,
of course,
just to correct your mistake. But if you use stones, you don't have to use water. Do you know that?
But today we don't use stones. We have toilet paper. So I'm saying, can you compare that to the stones?
That is what you are using. That's what you choose to do.
Well, you don't.
No, I'm saying, can you? This I'm saying. In today, their situations today.
No, the religion doesn't change with the circumstances.
No,
you see, if someone,
today we should have stones in our toilet for. To use it, so we shouldn't buy toilet paper. We could use stones. Basically,
that is exactly what we say.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that time it was stones, today is stones. Yeah?
The Prophet said. The Prophet said. You see, at the time of the Prophet, just take it slowly. That's why I'm doing qiyas. Where we are reading about qiyas to know if we are allowed to do these things or not. You see, if you take shower with water, can you take shower with Coca-Cola? With milk? Extra milk. You have extra milk, you don't have it, and nobody is going to drink it, and you can't find anyone to drink it, and it's going to spoil anyway. Take shower with it. Why you don't take shower with milk?
It's not for shower.
Why it's not for shower?
It's not tahor.
It's not tahor. So why is not tahor? Can I ask this question? I'm not trying to. Because the Prophet didn't say.
It's not a sunnah.
Because
The Prophet didn't do it.
It is
Did he?
color and test.
Because of the color of the test. No. Tell me is because the Quran and Sunnah didn't say it's tahor.
Yeah.
Quran and Sunnah didn't say it's tahor.
So about shower gel and soap.
Jazakallah khair. And do you think that the stones are like the toilet paper? Did Allah, when the Prophet gave us permission to use the stones, and actually he said that no other than 3 stones, do you consider toilet paper to be included in stones? He said 3 stones. And the religion, if we go to Quran and Sunnah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the Prophet said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا مَاءً فَتَيَمَّمُوا وَجُعِلَتْ لِلْأَرْضُ مَسْجِدًا وَطَهُورًا نَحْنُ لَمْ نَجِدِ الْمَاءَ. When there is no water, the land is purifying for us. So, if there is no water and there is no stones, let's say you are in a situation where there is no water and there is no soil to do tayammum, what are you going to do? Toilet paper and do you do that? Will you take your mobile and put your hand and it's something, I have to do something.
wouldn't put my hand on toilet paper and put it in my face.
No, it's clean.
No, I wouldn't do that.
So why don't you do qiyas here? You do qiyas when you want and you don't do it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. In general,
Yeah.
we come across these situations.
Yeah.
In that case, what would you do if you had no water and no dust, but you had toilet paper?
I will not do anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها اتقوا الله ما استطعتم. I don't have water. The alternative for water is stones, is dust. Where there is no water and no dust, you have to pray. And there is no water. لا يكلف الله إلا وسعها. You pray the way you are. This is what the Sahaba did. When they went and there was no water, and the ayah of tayammum was not revealed yet, they prayed without wudu.
So how about something like shower gel, soap, these things, head and shoulders?
Yeah, you use them.
Use that.
You use them, but afterwards, what do? You wash with water. The ghusl, the sahih ghusl, you do it with niyyah. When you take shower on Friday, you don't wash because shower gel, and everybody will agree. This is not the people of qiyas or not qiyas. Everybody will tell you if you take shower in a bath with foam, where the water has changed, and it's this is not shower. What they will tell you, okay, you can use soap and shampoo and everything, and then when you are pouring water, that is where you take your niyyah. This is the ghusl. The ghusl is not with soap, is with water. And if someone is using other than stones, you see, if someone is using a stone, that will be enough for him. Even though we know that stones doesn't clean the way the water cleans, but it's enough because this is the Sharia came with it. This is the difference between. But if you use toilet paper, which is wrong, but sometimes in some situations you don't have choice. You are in a country, for example, if you use stones, maybe it will block the place or whatever, and you choose to use this toilet paper, then you have to use water afterwards, and that water, even the water will be wrong to use in this case. However, you are doing something wrong here, but when you stand up for prayer, all you have to do is to be clean. You must stand up with no najasa on your body. This is something that inshallah we are going to talk about in not next week lesson, but it needs more explaining, and we are going to talk about it in inshallah bulugh in hadith and the dars of fiqh, and we will mention the opinions of the Sahaba. Actually, the Sahaba, like Abdullah bin Zubayr, who was asked about how someone can clean himself, and he said, at the time of the Prophet we used to use stones. Jabir bin Abdullah was asked about this, and he said, he was asked about using water, and he said, if I use water, my hand will still dirty forever. And Ibn Umar used to talk about it, and he never uses even water. He didn't use it, he considered it to be purifying when it comes to istinja. And this is what we say, question of qiyas. And if you say toilet paper, what about someone who tells you clothes, and someone else will tell you food? And if you tell him food, this is ni'mah from Allah, why? The clothes are not ni'mah from Allah, the paper is not ni'mah from Allah, it's from shaitan?
What about the flight? Is not ni'mah?
What?
The flight, why you travel to Hajj?
It is ni'mah from Allah.
Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did it, why you do it?
We are talking about religion.
No, exactly. No. If you make qiyas, but
You said to me earlier on that's from religion. When I asked you that earlier on.
he didn't do it, so we should do it as well.
Don't confuse yourself here. I said the flight, the Prophet was asked about the umur of dunya. He said, Antum a'lamu bi umuri dunyakum. I said going to Hajj is religion. How you go to Hajj is not religion. Going to Hajj, Allah ordered us to go to Hajj, so it's a religion. How you go, it's your business.
It still is a religion. When you walk from your home to the mosque, it is a religion. It is ibadah.
Yes. And that's why I will tell you, if you come to the mosque on your feet, you will get with your every step reward, but I will not tell you every ruling of the wheel of the car you will get step, because I don't have dalil for that. But if you do qiyas, you will have to say that. No, we don't. No.
You will tell us probably we don't do it.
No. That is, I say, the Prophet, the religion is where if the Prophet said go to Hajj on a camel, I will tell you it's forbidden to go on aeroplane. But he never said that. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ.
So about when a disabled person does tawaf in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
that's ibadah.
Yes.
But they're in the wheelchair, the Prophet didn't use wheelchair.
Yeah,
They're disabled.
Definitely. All the Prophet has ordered us is to do tawaf. Or he ordered us to do tawaf. He didn't tell us tawaf, how to walk, or to actually the Prophet himself was doing tawaf. Salama with the order of the Prophet did tawaf on her camel, and the Prophet himself. But we don't do qiyas on camel.
The one who took on his back.
No, that hadith is bit. The hadith is from Umar ibn Khattab. However, Umar ibn Khattab saw it, not the Prophet. That is Umar ibn Khattab who spoke about the man. Now, what we have been ordered to do is to do tawaf. And we don't add to religion. We don't do qiyas. We don't add to the religion. We don't say opinion. So you have to do tawaf. Even when you are in a state of, when you can ask someone to carry you on his hand and do tawaf. Because we have been ordered to do tawaf only. And when someone carries you on his hand and turn, you have done your tawaf. While we don't do qiyas, yes, we don't go to a way where, everything that the Prophet has not done, that is what you were talking about earlier. Everything that the Prophet has not done, it's a bid'ah. You see, if that is not qiyas when I take the tasbih. But the Prophet did it with his hand, I am doing it now. I say, the Prophet has spoken about tasbih, about remembering of Allah. He didn't say how to do it. So you are free. Do it the way you want. You want to do it with tasbih, you want to do it with the calculator.
One of the shart of a'mal ittiba'.
The Prophet, yeah. You follow the Prophet, you follow the religion. So you don't bring in something new to religion. You see, if someone starts dancing or shouting or it's bid'ah. And he say, I am doing ibadah. Someone who...
But ittiba' would mean you would follow the way the Prophet ﷺ done it.
No, that is what people are wrong in. The people who say bid'ah. You see, when the Prophet says, whoever says 100 times La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir will get this. We say, if you say that, you will get that. You say it with your mouth, yes? Then you have to calculate it. You want to calculate it. The Prophet didn't say anything about it. So anyone who comes and say you have to do it this way or that way, he is adding to the religion from his mind. And this is exactly, after qiyas, we speak about the opinions, bringing opinions into religion. There is no opinions into religion. Since the Prophet didn't say how you count it your way. Count it with your fingers, count it with tasbih.
We should do as the Prophet did it.
No, we shouldn't do the way the Prophet. We should do what the Prophet has said.
Even he didn't say. The sunnah means the action.
Well, you were not. We have passed this lesson already. That's the problem. You were not here, so I have to go with you through.
So that's okay. Because I thought you are probably saying something else. I told you if the Prophet did it, we saw it.
Do what?
Inshallah, we will continue inshallah on Wednesday.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.